It's a dark, dreary, rainy Tuesday here at my home. So let's go build a vintage computer, shall we? Hello, this is Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and we're with something today that we haven't seen in a while. This is my Packard Bell sleeper case that a friend of mine custom built for me about 2.5 years ago, I want to say. And the past year or so, it's just been sitting under my desk in storage, just collecting dust. There's nothing in it right now. But that's about to change. I've decided to bring back the Packard Bell sleeper and do another Ultimate Packard Bell build like I did a year and a half ago, except this one will be with a different motherboard. I'm pretty much going to make this into a Packard Bell-like system with a little bit nicer hardware that you would have gotten back in the late 90s. So let's take a look at the hardware we'll be putting in here. First of all, we unboxed this a few weeks ago. This is the CyberDrive CDRW. This is going to go into the top drive bay there. I doubt I'll ever be recording on here, but this is about the only beige IDE optical drive I have at the moment, so it'll do just nicely. We're going to put this zip drive in here in the bottom 5¼ inch slot, mainly because I don't have another slot blank. So this will just fill in that open space. Now I don't know if this is going to work or not because these things can be a little bit iffy on non-Packard Bell systems. But we're going to put in a Packard Bell sound modem card to give it a little bit of Packard Bell authenticity. If that doesn't work, I have other options. The motherboard has onboard audio, and I can always use a PCI card that I have lying around. For video, we're going to be using this ATI Rage Pro Turbo PCI with 8 megs of video memory. It's a 3D graphics card. Very good card, I may add. And it's PCI, which is good because the motherboard doesn't have AGP. For storage, we're going to be using this 32 gig SD card with this adapter. We'll be using this Ethernet card. This is a Linksys card. Very generic stuff there. Got a somewhat yellowed floppy drive. Blanking plate in that Ziploc bag. Power supply. And the motherboard itself, which comes to us courtesy of the Flying Scotsman. You may recall in last week's video, I unboxed this. This has an SIS 530 chip on it, and for video, it has another SIS video chip on it. These SIS video cards are very notorious for being very, very bad, so that's one of the big reasons I'm going with this ATI video card. Give it a very nice boost. Has a stick of RAM in here. I'm not sure what the capacity is. Hopefully it's at least 128. If not, I've got other sticks lying around we can pop in here. And this is a AMD K62 clocked at 400 megahertz. Socket 7, which is really, really nice. So I guess that's about it, unless you want to see the I.O. on here. Pretty much standard stuff. So, I'm not going to record myself putting this together, mainly because it just gets to be a pain in the butt after a while, with the camera getting in the way and having to position it. So, I'm going to take the lazy way out and just do all of this off camera. So, next time you see this computer, it will be complete, hopefully. Okay, looks like we're about ready to go. Got everything installed, as you can see on the front and the inside. Although I just realized I forgot to plug the zip drive in. I will do that right now. It's always something. There we go. Now it's ready to go. Always got to forget something. Now, no guarantee it's going to fire up properly first try, because the front panel connectors on this case, since this is a custom modified case, the connectors are a little bit on the strange side, so it takes a while to properly get them to work. So wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't work right the first try just because of that. And here's the back. Looking good. So let's hook it up to the test bench and see what happens. Alright, fingers crossed. Got power, and power LED works. And it turned off on its own. Why is that? Oh, I don't like that. Okay, it's staying on longer now. But it's refusing to post. Wonder what's up. Something's getting hung up, it looks like. So I gotta do some troubleshooting off camera. Okay, roughly 1 hour and a lot more sweat, quite literally, later, it finally works. And let me tell you, this was an ordeal. I simplified the configuration as much as I could. I unplugged everything to the bare bones, to the bare minimum, and it still would not post. I even pulled the motherboard out to see if it was being shorted out on the case somehow, but that was okay. Tried a different power supply, that was okay. No problems there. So I was stumped, and all it was, I don't know if you can see it, it's a little dark there, but the two connectors for the reset switch on the front panel were backwards, and that was preventing it from properly posting. So it was as simple as that. I always have a habit of looking too far into this stuff. See, I even yanked the power supply out of that Dell Dimension 8200, but let me prove to you that it is up and running. I even connected a speaker to it, just a tiny little PC squeaker, nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. See, the BIOS is functioning properly. Date and time is correct. Of course, that's a brand new CMOS battery I just put in there today. And I did forget to disable the onboard audio, if that's even possible. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I am unable to find the option for disabling the onboard audio. So hopefully the Packard Bell sound card I put in here doesn't result in an IRQ conflict with the built-in card, because I can't seem to turn it off. And hopefully that doesn't result in a problem. It's got every option you can imagine for the BIOS, except that one particular one that I really need right now. So hopefully nothing too disastrous will happen. So let me button this back up and hook it up in its semi-permanent spot. Well, it's actually been almost a week since the last part of this video was recorded. I ran into quite a few issues with this computer, but I'm happy to report that it is fully functional now. I then restored it from a Packard Bell master CD, which was kind of a risky move, seeing that this isn't an official Packard Bell. It's just a generic system in Packard Bell clothing. But it kind of worked. Obviously didn't pick up any drivers, but I did an in-place upgrade to Windows 98 2nd Edition. And I ran into a few issues there, so what I did was just do a simple clean install of Windows 98 2nd Edition and manually added all the Packard Bell software that I wanted on here. And everything seems to be working fine. I also ran into some issues with the sound card because I'm using the Packard Bell sound modem card, but with a couple of minor compromises I was able to get that functional. So let's go ahead and power it on. This is its main home now. It's connected to the KVM switch that Jay sent me. Here we go. I also added a tiny little PC speaker. Putting into 98 2nd Edition. It's pretty quick to boot up, about average really. Okay, we'll log on to the domain. And here we are. One thing you may already notice is that I'm using the 98 Lite setup. I've done a video about this recently. Basically, it gives you the Windows 95 interface in Windows 98. Wasn't really a performance-related reason for putting it on this particular system. I just wanted to have the Windows 95 aesthetic on this computer, but still retain the hardware and software compatibility of Windows 98. And this is one of the reasons why I opted for Windows 98 with 98 Lite instead of full-fledged 95. Has drivers for USB game controllers. So we'll go ahead and set it up. Don't need to do anything else really, and it's all ready to go. Tried doing that in 95. I've tried putting USB controllers on Windows 95, and it's impossible. Okay, let's check out the device manager on here. Even added the Packard Bell OEM info there. And for video, we've got an ATI 3D Rage Pro, 8 meg PCI. And there's the onboard video, which is not working obviously, but it's SIS videos, so no big loss there. Let's see, has an SIS chipset. Probably not the best chipsets in the world, but for this kind of situation, I haven't had a single issue with it. Knock on wood. And Packard Bell monitor there. There's our network card. The SCSI controller, the emulated SCSI controller, I guess, for the Damien Tools virtual CD drive I have on here. And Aztec Sound Galaxy Washington 16. This is the generic Windows 98 driver for the Packard Bell sound card. I'm using this because if I use the Packard Bell provided sound card drivers, it pretty much causes resource conflicts up the wazoo. So you're really not missing much from not using the Packard Bell drivers. all you're really missing is the SRS enabled 3D sound and the volume controller application doesn't work properly, but other than that, runs just fine. And all chipset stuff there. And SIS USB, got two USB 1.1 ports. You can do a quick little DX diag. And we can get some info there. Particularly for the processor, we've got an AMD K6 clocked at 400 megahertz. This is a Super Socket 7 system. And there's more info on the video. ATI 3D Rage Pro, 8 megs of video memory, and it's 3D of course. And the sound card info, MIDI. And speaking of MIDI, we'll do a quick MIDI test. Alright, here we go. It sounds really good on there. And you can notice here that it's using the Windows 95 style interface. And on a system like this, using this kind of interface, since this is kind of overpowered for it, it just flies through everything. Just open up any folder here. Again, it runs just fine with the standard 98 interface, with the web style interface, but I don't know, I just wanted the Windows 95 style look for the system since it's a Packard Bell. Kind of, it just feels more appropriate for the aesthetic I'm going for here. But it's running just fine with that. So, let's fire up a game. We'll start off with a DOS game because this computer is, in a way, designed to play just about anything made from the DOS era up to the 98 era. So let's see what we got here. I know I show Jazz Jackrabbit a lot, but this time I'll show a episode that I don't think I've shown on here before. First, let me get the gamepad working. Here we go. Again, this wouldn't be possible in 95 using the USB gamepad. I'll go with Rabbit's Revenge. Alright, here we go. I'm going to attempt to do this without any cheats. Can't guarantee we'll succeed in that.
Rapid fire, rapid fire.
that little fella there. She is playing this just fine. Only DOS game I haven't been able to get to run on here, and it might just be the version I'm using, is Jill in the Jungle. It plays okay, music works, but sound effects, I can't seem to get to work for some reason on here. I don't know why that would be. Might try a different version of the game at some point. But that's the joy of working with these old computers. They can be picky. But other than that one game, the rest of the DOS games seem to work just fine on here. And I know I didn't include any video footage of me trying to troubleshoot this computer, but I have this thing where I would like to show the troubleshooting on camera because that would be good content, but I have ADD, and I need as little distraction as possible to solve a problem. And so when I'm trying to figure out a complicated computer issue, I don't want to have to fool with a distracting video camera and having to set it up and edit all the stuff down from the troubleshooting process on camera. So I just don't like to record it because I just want to focus on the problem and getting it fixed, if that makes sense. So this is part 2 of this level. And we're off to a roaring stop. I'm not gonna make it, am I? Okay, that bought us a little bit of time there. If it hadn't been for those carrots, I would have been dead by now. So yes, kids, eat your vegetables. I always hear this stereotype about kids hating vegetables, hating broccoli and stuff like that, but when I was a kid, I loved vegetables. Especially green beans and stuff like that. Good stuff. And aside from myself, I've never really known that many kids that didn't like vegetables either. Okay, just barely made it through. So we'll go ahead and move on to something else. One thing I forgot to mention is one minor issue I'm having with this computer is this new in stock CD drive. While it usually works just fine, a lot of times I'll have trouble ejecting it. Its tray likes to get stuck every now and then, which is not fun. So a lot of times I have to take this big old paper clip and jam it into the manual emergency whatchamacallit, and it pops right open, and I can go ahead and put my disc in, and it should work fine for however long it feels like working. Okay, now for a computer game that I've never shown on this channel before. This is a game that I discovered either last year or the year before from LGR when he did a video about this. And it's a game I'm surprised I didn't play back in the day because it looks like one I would have loved. And I just gotta remember where it installed to. There we go. It's a game called Claw. It's basically a side-scrolling platforming game where you play as a pirate cat. Those were the good old days when cats roamed the seas pirating treasure. Yeah, back in 2007 when cats roamed the seas. I don't know why I said 2007. I think this game came out in 1997, by the way. And I would have fallen in love with this game. And they put a lot of effort into this game as well. If you want to see more about this, check out LGR's video on this game. He did a really good job capturing the excitement of this game. We'll go ahead and skip that. I'm sure the full one's on YouTube somewhere. Okay. Looks like the controller's already functional. Okay, set to high video. Single player. Only thing about this game is it is not cheat code friendly. It has cheat codes, but it punishes you for using the cheat codes by not letting you save, which is very annoying. I hate it when games do that, because I like cheating. I'm sorry.
There's got to be a way out. Magic Claw!
Yeah, it's just a good old-fashioned platformer, which is what I love. Really dramatic, huh? This really is a good game. That's been a checkpoint there. Not sure how you get that. There we go. Got him from behind.
Were you?
Oh yeah, this kind of platforming always gets on my nerves. See that bad guy? Or am I the bad guy, I wonder? Nobody knows.
Whoa! Were you?
Oh yeah, this is where I could die. The spikes are instant kill.
So far, so good.
And it wouldn't be saved if I was cheating. Oh yeah, this is annoying. Sneak attack.
Were you?
actually having pretty fun playing this. Yeah, if you can find a copy of this game, I highly recommend you giving it a try. Unless you're trying to cheat. I'm sorry, I'm sour. Oh, that wasn't fun.
Yes!
That's not fair. It didn't give me enough time to platform. Almost sounded like a song. There we go. Made it.
Inkling!
I wonder how long this level is. It's a bit longer than I remember. I always love sneaking up on him. I'm a man who enjoys the simple pleasures.
Take that! Whoa! Yes!
We gotta be near the end. Are we there yet? I love that sound they make when they die. That sounded kind of morbid. I'm sorry. So yeah, I highly recommend giving this game a try if you can come across it. If you like good old-fashioned platformers like I do, then this one really hits the spot. And now for something a little bit more beefier for a system like this. This is Motocross Madness 2. I've shown this on the channel before. But I'm curious to see how it will handle a mere ATI 3D 8 meg card. Well, this is a... I don't remember the system requirements for this game, but this card is a little bit underpowered for this game, possibly. But we'll find out once the game gets going. Okay, gotta go through that. Okay, it's at least going to use hardware rendering. That's a good sign. I guess I really shouldn't be that surprised. Give it a little bit of time to load up. Can't remember if there's any way to skip this. Can't type today. did it die? There we go. At least I thought. Why is it? Okay, is this gonna work, I wonder? Okay, yeah, I think it... Okay, it's, we're good. Let's go back. That's not quite what I wanted. I don't know if it's just because this is a slower system that's behaving a bit suspicious, I guess you could say. But the real test will be when we start playing. Okay, yeah, that's good. I could care less. I forgot to mention that the hard drive LED on this system doesn't work. I've always had issues with the hard drive LED on this case, but that pretty much means we have no clue if it's gonna die or not. Especially since we have an SD card instead of a spinning hard drive. Oh, ooh. Now, why is the camera angled in this direction? This is a bit choppy, I have to admit. Also got to keep in mind I do have a 866 megahertz Pentium 3 system on hand if I need a something more powerful for this. Now, why is the camera angled this way? This is kind of ruining the experience. I don't know how to go about fixing that. I guess I can't. I mean, if the camera was angled properly, it wouldn't be too devastating to play. But I've seen this game run a lot more smoothly on higher end systems. I'm not even I'm not even controlling it right now. It's taken on a life of its own. What is going on here? So yeah, I think we've kind of gone past the limits of this computer. But it could be a lot worse, though. I'm still not touching anything. Yeah, when you go out of bounds in this game, it shoots you back, literally. Anyway, let's put it out of its misery. Oh, and just for proof of concept...
Welcome from Packard Bell. We offer you two computing environments to choose from. Packard Bell's Navigator or Microsoft Windows. You may also begin by taking a quick lesson on using the mouse.
Packard Bell Navigator, version 3.6. running beautifully and just fine, despite the plethora of error messages. Yeah, I don't know what was with that, but it usually works, trust me. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video of assembling this computer and taking it for a test run. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also support me on Patreon if you would like. The link to all of these are down below. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.